All right, family. Today we're gonna create a dish called the Covi-Eenny. Probably wondering where I got the name. Right now we're quarantined because of the COVID-19, so kind of combined the two. Kind of making a mess into a message. With that said, the Covi-Eenny is gonna have a variety of different things in it. We're gonna start off with some angel hair pasta right here. Got a couple boxes. I'll break those in half. Actually got the water already boiling. I'll put just a dash of salt, nothing crazy, so the noodles don't stick to the pan. I have this pan already getting hot because I'm going to go ahead and cook the bacon and the sausage kind of together to release the flavor, release the grease. I'm going to utilize that grease in this pan when I pour in my cream sauce that I made from scratch. Then I will go ahead and put in the garlic, cut up garlic cloves, parsley, onion. Once I get that sauteed and the flavors have all come together, I then will generously pour a little bit of that Parmesan cheese with my cream sauce that I made. And then we'll see what it looks like from then. After that, I do have already chopped cooked chicken, and I have my shrimp ready, along with my mushrooms. So what I've done here is I've chopped up the bacon. I'll go ahead and throw all that in there. Chopped up the bacon in little slices. It's going to be a topping for the Covi-Eenny. I like to use the spatula to kind of push it down, break it up. We're not going to cook it all the way. We really just want it to release its flavors and its juices, because we're going to throw it back in there again. Taught by a mentor years ago, you do not cook the shrimp, bacon or sausage or chicken together at once, especially the shrimp and the chicken. Let that kind of like release its flavor, and we will all right, family, we're back. And okay, so this is kind of how you'll know when it's done. Kind of proportion brownness all the way around. Like I said, you don't want to cook it all the way yet, because we are going to bring it back together at the end. This is kind of like a fusion, like a Mexican, Italian, slash seafood, American type of dish. I've yet to see it being done, but I mean, today I'm trying to create it. So a tip that I learned from my dad years ago, especially when you're utilizing the flavor from meat that you're cooking, always bring it to one side of the pan and you just squeeze it. Get all that juice out, and then when you pour it, you tilt the pan up and let that grease just drop to the bottom. Then we'll utilize that for flavor. So as you can see, it's kind of like a candy brown. I dumped out a lot of the grease that was still in it. What you really want is a light layer over the top. You don't want too much, because there's going to be a lot of other stuff going in there too. This is more of just a flavor enhancer. Yeah, Papa. Okay, let's do it. Hold on, time out. Okay, so the next part of the Covi-Eenny is the veggies. You're gonna want to put a little dash of olive oil. Extra light olive oil. That's gonna cause your veggies not to burn. So the first thing you want to put in there is your onion. You want to let that onion get nice and brown and release its juices with the juices that are already in there. Just stir that around. And I have my sliced cloves right here. I sliced them as thin as I possibly could. Those will definitely go in next. Cloves and garlic. Garlic cloves and onion. actually release the most intense flavor in this whole fusion. You want to let the onions cook for a minute or two. Then you have the cloves ready to go in right after. And then once we get the cloves going and they release its juice, then we're going to go ahead and drop the parsley, the cut up parsley. We're going to go half and half. We're going to use half the parsley for the angel hair pasta, and we're going to use the other half for our... Now we're going to go ahead and drop in 3 cloves, 3 cut up garlic cloves, and let it release its flavor. Have it go in there and cut it up real good. You can even let that heat just get trapped in there. And then I got my cream sauce. I got my little secret sauce too. You always want to have a little secret sauce to just continue to keep the stuff wet. When you're cooking with heat, meat, and veggies, sometimes things will dry up. So you always want to have a flavored sauce that at all times you can remain, the dish to remain moist. Well, we're getting there. It's coming together. And then we have our mushrooms that will go in right before our shrimp. That's our next step. Let's look at what these onions and, oh yeah, look at that. Okay, it's time. So we will grab cloves, put that, oh, this is the parsley. Cook that together. Oh yeah, that's coming together nice. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and put the mushrooms. Let that mushroom, get all that juice, put all that juice in that. Let it get it all in there. Let that thing get all in there. You can just crisp that up a little bit. Put that on there. You don't need to let it go for that long either. Actually, and with just the juices that it's releasing on its own, we can just put a little generous portion of pepper in there, and it's going. Look at this. It's going. Look at that. I always like to bring all my stuff to the middle of the pan. Kind of keeps it all together. Unity's good, not just with people, but with food. You want it to always keep together. All right, it's coming together. Look at that. Look at that flavor. You can probably just eat that. That could be a dish in itself. It could be the Covi-Eenny. Now, my favorite part of this whole thing is when we get to start bringing the meats together. So like I said earlier, you never cook the raw shrimp with any other meat. We're kind of being borderline with this mushroom, but it's okay. So what we want to do with this, we want to really just stir that around, get all that stuff mixed together. Let that shrimp just fall in love with all those flavors. Just let it all just hug each other and do its thing, man. Look at that. And like I said, that secret sauce that I have, I can't tell you. It's a little recipe of mine that I created a long time ago when I was at a little vacation camp. But maybe one of these days I'll throw it out there. But at least for right now, you guys gonna get 80% of the recipe. All right. Look at that. Get all that juice together. Look at it. You see that it's kind of thickening up as like a paste. The olive oil does that. That's why it's important to have that extra virgin olive oil on hand. It also, again, allows you not to burn the veggie or the meat. Keeps it at like a homostasis way of burning. Okay, family, let's kind of see where we're at. Oh yeah, look at that. Yes. Oh yeah. All those flavors just cook together. So my next favorite part is the mixture of the cheese sauce. Let's go ahead and get that a little wet. Let's get that a little wet. You want it nice and creamy. You don't want no chunks, lumps, or any of that. You want this stuff nice and creamy. This is just going to be the thickening, enhancing part. Oh yeah, look at that. There it is. Let's go ahead and put that one in there. Yes, yes, yes. You can let this stuff just boil now. Got yourself a nice little sauce. Now you just let this stuff boil together. It will thicken up. It seems wet right now, but at the end, it will all come together and it will thicken up. I mentioned earlier that this was like a fusion, a little bit of Mexican, Italian, American, and seafood all together. The Mexican part I like to put is cilantro. I put cilantro on all my meats, and it's delicious. And with that said, let's go ahead and start putting that Parmesan cheese. You can put a good little issue of this Parmesan cheese right here. Cake that whole top layer. Okay, so we're at our final step. Okay, so what you're gonna want to do before you drop anything in there, you're gonna want to scrape the bottom. It's not burning to the bottom of the pan, but you'll feel little parts of it just kind of like loosening up. It's important that you just stir all that around. You know what? Let me taste the flavor of this. Man. Okay. So now our final fusion, our candy coated candy brown meat that we cooked earlier. Drop that together. Then our shredded cut up chicken, our cilantro, final part, fam, final part, sliced tomato, a little bit more onion, and some jalapeno. Now watch. Remember I told you earlier, I promised you that it would thicken up? This is the thickening up part. And you just stir it all together. You stir it all together. Look at that. Look at the texture on that. Look at the texture. Oh, wow. Look at that. And now, what you can do is you put the lid on and you just turn it off. And you let it just all come together. We'll do one more stir in a little bit, but that's it. Covi-Eenny is... Alright, family. Every meat dish that you cook, there has to be a base, a foundation, and our foundation today is going to be the angel hair pasta. And I'm not the type that likes like rice and noodle at the bottom with no flavor. I'm not. That's no way. It's useless. It's like driving a car and not being able to turn your light on. I cut my pasta in half. So you don't have to be wrestling with it later on. As you can see, I put salt earlier so it doesn't stick to the pan. Got it at a good simmer. With that said, you only need it to simmer for 5 minutes. Anything more than that, it's going to be mush. You don't want mush. So back to the meat. Let's kind of look at what I was talking about earlier. Covi-Eenny. Look at that. Oh, man. Look at that. So beautiful. You don't even want to touch it. I'll show you in a quick second how I will season this up. I also had a special request earlier from the wifey to not use any salt. So I actually made this dish without salt. Strainer. Look at it. See how it all kind of like folds together. So to give a good little seasoning to your angel hair, the secret ingredient is this right here. You just put a generous portion of that all the way around. You got the parsley cut up with a little bit of onion. And this right here is the bad boy, the Italian seasoning. That does the trick right there. Just a little generous portion. You don't need a lot, but it gives it that like exotic smell. A little bit of pepper. And you can take a fork and you can just kind of just grab it from the bottom and just lift it up. And just stir it around. You got yourself your angel hair pasta. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the texture on that. Oh yeah. And the final touch on everything, your butter garlic bread. 350 degrees, 10 minutes, and then we got ourselves a meal. Voila, the Covi-Eenny in the flesh. You can tell that one's my dish. Well, family, this is it, the Covi-Eenny. You know, for those that know us, they know the week that we've had. It's been challenging. With that said, my wife and my daughter were positive for COVID-19 recently, and with that, you know, it gave us an opportunity for our faith to grow, our family to come together, and the church really stepped up, and our friends and family really stepped up, and really were here for us, you know, with action, not just words, and we really appreciate that. You know, tonight I just wanted to celebrate with one of my favorite sports, food. With that said, tonight we're celebrating because tonight, you know, we definitely are identified as COVID-19 survivors. And with that said, my prayers are out to all the families that are going through that same battle, challenge. And for all the loved ones that are in fear right now of possibly, you know, catching this ugly virus. And with that said, I just continue to encourage everybody to pray more, enjoy your moments, and don't take nothing for granted. With that said, God bless. And what's even better after a full stomach? A clean kitchen. Amen.